have it. We've gotten everything installed. This should be all set up to be turned on, running, everything good to go. But before we can go ahead with that, we obviously need to tidy up a bit of this mess here. As you can see, it's just cables everywhere. This is my first time building in a case this small, and there really isn't a whole lot of cable management going on, so I decided to just kind of let things be how they were so I could get them plugged in. And now I'll go ahead and try to sort some of this stuff out here, and I'll be back in just a minute to show you the final conclusion, I guess you could call it, how I sorted them out before I put the side panel back on. So here is the final product. As you can see, there definitely are quite a few cables there. Stuff is not the tidiest. I'm not going to leave full blame on that to Bit Phoenix. I will take a bit of the responsibility. I'm not the best at cable management, but I also only used the included zip ties that they provided because this is what they felt was adequate enough. Personally, I would have liked to see a couple more zip ties, but at the end of the day, it does do the job. It's just unfortunately, there's really nowhere to hide this stuff. I mean, it just really isn't. I mean, you could, of course, try to get them a bit better, but at the end of the day, everything's still going to be viewable from the front. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, put the side panel back on, which we'll grab that here. I think it would have been real nice to see a bit of a raised side panel, if you know what I mean, because a lot of the times it gives you a little bit of extra space to go ahead and make sure your cable management is on point. It gives you just that little bit of extra room, which always helps. But as you can see, I got the side panel back on. I'm going to go ahead, put the thumb screws in, and we'll take a final look inside the case to see how everything is. This is the final product of our Bit Phoenix Neos build. Now, as mentioned, this is my first time building in a case quite this small, so I do take a lot of the blame. It was a bit of a learning curve for me. People with a bit more experience could obviously get this more tidy. I mean, for instance, things like you could get this cable, you could get it behind the GPU, or you could have got an extension to run it across the top. I couldn't find my extension, and I'm a little strapped for time, so it is what it is. But all in all, wow, it was a learning experience, as I said, and it wasn't quite as easy to build in as I would have hoped. But for the price and what you get is very nice. Like I said, you of course get the 3 solid state drives, the 2.5 drives, and you get 3.5 bays. It's all toolless. You can, of course, go ahead and screw your hard drives down, but I didn't even bother with it because they kind of fit in there nice and snug. So for the purpose of just testing the case, I've just left them. I haven't even screwed them in there. As you can see, again, there aren't many places to hide the wires, especially down towards the bottom. Now, it would have been nice if there was a little bit something there to kind of get that big bunch of wires there, because any PSU you put down there is going to have some wires coming off it. They're going to be on show. So it would have been nice to hide them a little bit, but at the end of the day, for the price, you can't complain much. So that's pretty much it for this. I'm going to go ahead and do the testing and get working on the full review. So I'll check you guys in a bit.